Arlene. I'm an environmental educator from the Greenbelt Nature Center. And this is...
Hi, I'm Nancy. I'm with the Greenbelt Nature Center too, and I'm an environmental educator, which means we teach you all about nature around you.
Today we are going to be talking about animals, the animals that are around us. Does anyone here have any pets? How about you, Nancy? Do you have a pet?
Yeah, I do. I have a cat.
Oh, okay. Does anybody else have any pets? How about you, Olivia? Olivia, do you have a pet? Oh, Olivia, I think said a dog. Can you tell me, Nancy, what do you do to help to take care of that pet? Do you have to do anything?
Well, I had to feed her this morning before I came here, so I fed her. I have to change her box. And you know what? She lives in the house, so I give her a home.
Okay, and what other things? Maybe even water, right?
Oh, that's right.
All animals need to have food, water, and shelter. And that's what we provide to our pets. Or, the word that's above Nancy, domestic animals. But in the Greenbelt, we have animals that live outside. And those animals, we call them wild, because they can make their home outside. Can anyone here think of any animals that they would see outside their window, or if they walked in the forest? Nancy, can you think of anybody that would live outside?
Deer.
Deer, okay.
I've seen deer here at the Greenbelt.
Okay. How about you, Charlie? Charlie, have you seen any animals outside your window, or when you've gone out into the forest, or even just walking around outside? You've seen birds. Yes, we have lots and lots of birds. And birds make their homes outside. The birds need the same thing, the deer need the same thing that the animals that are our pets need. And that is, what do they need? Nancy, do you remember?
Food. What's the next one?
Oh, Anna's telling you.
Water, right. And shelter, a home. And they do that all by themselves. So we don't take care of them. They are wild, and they can find their own food, water, and shelter. Okay, so we're going to read a story about a salamander and a boy that finds a salamander in a park, and it's called The Salamander Room by Ann Mazer, illustrated by Steve Johnson and Lou Fancha, which means they drew the pictures. This is called a red eft, and it does live here in the Greenbelt in the moist soil. The Salamander Room. Brian found a salamander in the woods. It was a little orange salamander that crawled through the dried leaves of the forest floor. The salamander was warm and cozy in the boy's hand. "Come live with me," Brian said, and he took the salamander home. Okay. "Where will he sleep?" his mother asked. "I will make him a salamander bed to sleep in, and I will cover him with leaves that are fresh and green and bring moss that looks like little stars to be a pillow on his head. I will bring crickets for him to sing to and to sleep, and bullfrogs to tell him good night stories." There he is in his bed. Oh, what happens next? Look at that picture. See something on the floor. "And when he wakes up, where will he play?" his mother said. "I will carpet my room with shiny wet leaves and water them so he can slide around and play. I will bring tree stumps in my room so he can climb up on the bark and sun himself on top. And I will bring boulders that he can creep over. Look at his room. Here's the salamander. Can you bring tree stumps into your room? And wet leaves? Will your parents let you do that? I don't know. Look at that picture. Okay. Oh, but he'll miss his friends in the forest. And Brian said, I'll bring him salamander friends to play with. Look, he's looking outside. He's missing his friends, isn't he?
So sad.
Here's this picture. Oh, they will be hungry. What are you going to feed them? Here, look, it's a spotted salamander now for a friend, and we have them here in the Greenbelt too. I will bring insects to live in my room. Can you bring insects into your room? And every day I will catch some more and feed the salamanders. I will make little pools of water on top of the boulders, and they can drink whenever they are thirsty. Boy, I wonder how he got the boulders in his room. Oh, and I see a little beetle on a leaf there. Wow, look at this picture. Who's coming in? The insects will multiply, and soon there'll be bugs and insects everywhere. And Brian said, I'll feed them to the birds. They'll eat the extra bugs and insects, and the bullfrogs will eat them too. Oh my goodness, look at that bullfrog with his long tongue and birds flying in the windows. Can you do that? Can you let all the animals in? I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
Look at this neat picture. Okay. So what is his room starting to look like, boys and girls? It doesn't look like his room anymore, right? Where will the birds and bullfrogs live? I will bring trees for the birds to roost in and make ponds for the frogs. Can you bring a tree in your room? Will your parents let you bring a tree in the room? It does look pretty, but I see lots of colorful birds. Birds need to fly. We can lift off the ceiling. They will sail out onto the sky, and they will come back to my room when it's time for dinner, because they will know that they have the biggest, juiciest insects in there. Look at that. Can you take the roof off of your house? Will your parents let you do that? I don't know. Pretty birds, though. Oh, there's a cardinal. Okay. Oh, look at this one now. But the trees, how they'll grow. The rain will come through the open roof, and the sun, too. And the vines will creep up the walls of my room, and the ferns will grow under my bed. There will be big white mushrooms. And moss like little stars growing around the tree stumps that the salamander can climb on. Will your parents let you grow mushrooms and moss in your room? It's starting to look like something. What does it look like, boys and girls? What does it look like, Arlene?
Let me see.
His room looks
Oh,
more
I
like...
think that might be something outside called a forest, probably.
Yeah, he turned his room into, looks like a forest. And you, where will you sleep? I will sleep on a bed under the stars with the moon shining through the green leaves of the trees. Owls will hoot and crickets will sing, and next to me on the boulder with its head resting on soft moss, the salamander will sleep. Good night. Okay, so we read the book, The Salamander Room, and we learned that it wasn't a good idea to take a wild animal into your home and try to make a pet out of it, right? Because what a wild animal needs is everything outside. All the food is outside, it finds its own water, and its own shelter. So now we're going to play a fun game called Domestic and Wild. And we're going to learn about some of the animals that live in the Greenbelt and some animals that might be pets.
which is domestic, right? Okay, so I have something here. This is an animal. Does anyone here know what this animal might be? It goes in the pond, the lake, and swims around in the water. It has feathers, right? And webbed feet. Do you know what this is called? This is called a mallard duck. And this is the boy, because he has the beautiful, shiny green head that looks really, really handsome on him. And he's very brightly colored so that he can attract all the other female ducks. This mallard duck swims around and likes to eat all the duckweed or plants that are in the pond that are outside. So do you think, if this duck likes to eat and swim around in a pond or a lake, I think, what do you think? It might be wild. Do you think it's wild? I think so. So we're going to put it here where we have the word wild.
Okay, look at my animal. I've got a ginger cat. That's what they call cats that are orange. Ginger cats. Do you think it lives outside and finds its own food and water and shelter? Or does it live inside a house where it's hugged and pet and taken care of? I think it looks like an indoor cat or domestic cat. Sometimes cats can go outside, but they're called feral, and they're actually supposed to be inside cats or pets.
I have something here. These are fish that are swimming around in a fish tank or aquarium. They're very, very colorful fish, tropical fish, and they're inside a tank. There's water, and someone comes along and sprinkles some food in their tank. Do you think that these are wild animals or domestic? What do you think, Nancy?
Well, since they're in an aquarium, I think that they need to have someone take care of them and feed them and give them more water.
So can I hand this to you and you can put it on the domestic
I
side?
think they are domestic pets.
Thank you.
All right, I have an interesting one. This one lives in the Greenbelt. It's a young deer, which is called a fawn. Mom is called a doe, and dad is called a buck with the antlers. But look, it has very large ears to hear all around, large eyes. It's an herbivore, which means it eats plants. And it has little freckles or spots, so it can be camouflaged or hidden with the background so you don't really see it. It's protected. Do you think that people bring fawns in their house as pets? No, I don't think so, no. So this makes it a wild animal.
So we'll put you with the duck, the mallard duck. And now I have something that's really, really, really beautiful. And as the weather gets warmer, we start to see them fluttering about, going from flower to flower, drinking the nectar. They start out as an egg, then they hatch and become a caterpillar, and then after that they go into the pupa state. They stay very quiet and they wait and they wait, and then they become this beautiful swallowtail butterfly, flying around, fluttering outside. So if they like to fly outside, where do you think they belong? Where would you put them? Would you put them in domestic, or would you put them in the wild? I think that's right. The wild. Perfect. Good job.
Okay. I have someone you might recognize. What is this? That's right. It is a dog. How many of you have dogs? Oh, okay. All right. So that's okay if you don't have a dog. Well, what do we say? This dog is somebody's pet. I would think, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, we have to give dog food, we have to give it water, and we take it for a walk. So I say, and you do too, right? Yes, it's the mess.
Hello everyone, I'm Jessica Kratz, coordinator of the Greenbelt Nature Center, and today I'm here with another resident reptile, Pip. Pip is an eastern box turtle, and eastern box turtles are actually native species to the Greenbelt. And time of day is interesting with Pip. So we have some animals that are nighttime animals, nocturnal animals, right? You know, such as owls, bats, raccoons. And then we have some animals that are daytime animals, chipmunks, butterflies, squirrels. But Pip kind of falls into a category that our deer fall into, or cottontail rabbits, and that's called crepuscular, meaning he's mostly active kind of around sunrise or sunset, you know, early morning and heading towards night. So that's why we're filming this in the early morning hours. And Pip is, so he's a box turtle, right? Well, let's first start, where do turtles fall into all of this, right? Turtles, like our snakes, are reptiles. You can see his backbone here, and scaly skin, we can see some of that. And we have other turtles in the Greenbelt, in our ponds, in our lake. So we have big snapping turtles, and we have another native species, painted turtles, and then we have an invasive species, the red-eared slider. But Pip is not like those. Pip is not a water turtle. Pip is a land turtle. And you can see that, his rounded shell, it's not really flat there. And then if you look at his feet, I think he wants to do some locomotion for us. Look at his feet, they're actually not webbed like some of those other turtles, they're more kind of clubbed like even an elephant, you see? Let's see him walking around for us. Pip is getting some natural vitamin D right now, and so am I. It's really good for us. And speaking of things that are really good for us, right? Nutrition is good for us. So what does Pip eat? Most of the time we give him some chicken flavored dog food, supplemented with some greens and some berries, some extra nutrition. But now that it's nice out, we can give him some earthworms. And the way he's crawling around, I bet he would jump on an earthworm pretty well here. So Pip is walking around good for us, and I'm gonna stop him here, and thank you for joining us today as we talked about Pip, the eastern box turtle, one of the resident reptiles generally who lives in the Nature Center, but today we're outside the Greenbelt Nature Center. If you have any questions for us, want to see anything else, you can email me at naturecenter@sigreenbelt.org, and for other information, other videos, etc., visit sigreenbelt.org.